All right, welcome to another episode of the IDS podcast, and I'm here with Joey, Jessica, and Haley, respectively from Sight and Sounds, Country Carpet, and Elements. And thank you, Haley, for giving us your spot again. We're here one more time. I think this is our third recording here over the two seasons, and our second this season. So we're going to focus today on, I guess, a younger generation perspective. That's the concept, and I want to thank you, Joey, for getting this going. We've been talking about this idea for 2 seasons now, and you finally spearheaded it and got it moving. So we're here. But I think the general topic will be getting into the industry as a young professional, younger generation. So let's start off with, to begin, and I'm just going to go down the line just because it's easiest. Give us a quick 30-second background and how you got into the industry.
So, honestly, it took a while for me to get into this industry. It really did.
One thing I'm going to add, but I'm going to interrupt you. I think all three of you are second generation, right?
I'm third.
Third generation. Okay.
I'm second gen. Yeah, so, yeah.
Okay, but it's all family business for all three of you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I guess a little part of that might have been the COVID break in between, not knowing where I was really going to fit. Industries were changing dramatically over such a short period of time. And for me, I kind of always loved tech. So one day woke up and was just like, why don't I give the family business a try? I never wanted to mix the relationship with my dad as boss and always saw negatives to it. But after having a conversation about it where I was backed into a corner in some part of my life, it was almost eye-opening for the both of us. We could definitely make this work. If we could both put our time and effort into it, there's no reason why this can't work. And ever since that day, I've taken the bull by the horns, and it's been great ever since.
All right, cool. Yeah, family business is tough. I'm also second-generation photographer, but my father's a wedding photographer, so we're in a completely different sects of the business. Right. But yeah, it's a different thing.
Yes.
How about you, Jessica?
So I kind of always had an idea that I wanted to come into the business. When I went into college, I went into the business school for marketing. So I studied marketing, and I liked that side of the world of, social media and advertising, but I also always loved design world and interior design. I did internships throughout college. I did more of a fashion internship in the marketing world there. So when I graduated, it just seemed like the perfect fit, and what better to work with a family. So yeah, that's my background on how I got into it.
Nice. Haley, we've heard your story before, but please.
So for me, I graduated college with a psych business and art degree because I wasn't really sure. I also always felt drawn to coming into the family business, but I definitely wanted to explore, different experiences before coming here, just to make sure that I really, had gained a different background to bring to the table. And, by the time I was probably 3 years into my career, I was like, all right, I'm ready to come back into it. And I always knew, I really belonged here. So I feel like there's nothing more rewarding than really working for your family. And, we always were able to have a really good separation of, family and business. And so that made it a lot easier to transition into it.
Nice. Well, what's it like, and feel free, any of you, to speak, what's it like stepping into an already established business? For me, for instance, when I started my studio, I started from scratch. I had to just go out and get my own clients and start from the beginning. But all three of you stepped into an already established business. So was that transition easier for you?
I feel like, for me, a lot of the problems I had in some of the other businesses or business adventures I took on my own was gathering new clients. So as far as that base was already established, it was really easy. Where I had an issue was if there was new things in the tech industry that I thought were intriguing to me or how I could fit into my business, where it would be conflicting would be, here's a business that's already established and you don't break don't fix what's not broken.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to get into more detail on that later,
yes,
actually.
So it was really just a little bit of where can I fit my ideas without pressuring or changing the business too much?
Cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's more about not changing what was already established, but kind of bringing a new perspective into it and building off of the core values, what's already there, and how to make it better and how to, change based off of what's changing around you, like social media and tech and all of that kind of stuff.
I completely agree. agree. Like, it's more about the growth of it. Always stepping into it, having that foundation was really stabilizing. And we I guess always had entrepreneurial blood, running through us. And so I think it's really been a nice experience because we always have like that support. And we're just excited to keep going.
Do you guys ever feel underestimated at your age, given, the median age for designers in Long Island, for instance, is significantly older than you guys, probably older than me at that point. So when you're meeting with all these potential designers and they're 2, 3, 4 generations older than you, do you feel underestimated? Do you feel like sometimes they might look at you differently, or?
I think it really depends on the person. I definitely think in the beginning it was more like about my insecurities. It wasn't really about how they perceived me. It was more about how I perceived myself. Mm-hmm. But as I've gained more confidence...
Well, you're the young blood, yeah.
Yeah, and so as I've gained more confidence, I've definitely have felt more respect. But I think it's only happened a couple of times where they've been like, what's your age? It doesn't really matter.
It's irrelevant, yeah.
Yeah, it's irrelevant. And so it really depends on the person.
No, I agree. I think once you get to like a certain point in your adulthood, then 25 versus 60, it doesn't matter. You're
right.
just...
Once you know what you know, I feel like that's what's been a huge leap in my career. It's when people can come to me with a problem and they know they can come to me for a solution, it's been a huge help where age doesn't really matter if I'm going to get the job done.
No, it makes sense. Let's shift a little bit. We started speaking about technology before, but I'd like to hear how that relates to each of your specific industries. And I guess I'll start with you, Haley. We had a whole episode about lighting tech, so I don't want to get too in-depth about that. But what are you seeing with lighting tech that you're introducing to new designers that may not understand like what's coming out between smart technology and all this new stuff? Where do you see that going, and how is that introduced to I guess an older generation of designers?
So for us, we're seeing a lot more options and a lot more control, and being able to customize it to what you really want. So you're seeing a lot more of an emphasis on LED lighting and more app-based lighting. So you have just all different options, or even like portable lamps. Like you can really do a lot more than just your traditional bulb and just like being stuck to an outlet. And I think that they're getting a lot more creative, and it's allowing people to really use lighting in a lot of different applications. And I think there's more of a focus on wellness too. Like Joy, I'm sure you've seen like circadian lighting is definitely becoming more of a trend. And people are getting more interested in valuing the different like wellness aspects of it.
Mm-hmm. What about in the showroom itself? Has tech changed the way you show people what your products? We're in your showroom now. Yeah. So how are you integrating tech into like the sales part of things?
Mm-hmm. So I think that the consumer buying behavior is completely shifted. Like the mindset is totally different when it comes to any product. They already have a lot of information at their fingertips. And so for us, we're using technology as a tool, like using AI to generate lifestyle images and place different lights in it so that they get an idea and can really visualize how it would look in their space. I would say also they're using a lot more like screens. So we have a screen in the back that we really can play with all the different products, and they really like to interact with it. So in the showroom, it's a lot more experience-based. And I think it's really just giving you more of a platform and more tools to use.
Cool. What about you, Jessica, from a flooring standpoint? Is there any new tech or new materials that younger designers are just all gung-ho about? Or?
So we're seeing a lot of, like, piggybacking off of what you said, a lot of visualizations. So, like, there's, like, an AI 3D rendering picture that you could throw in, like, a carpet sample, and you could see, like, how it's going to lay out in your home. So a lot of our vendors that we work with have that platform. So a lot more and more people, like, end users, not only designers, want to see what it's going to look like in their space. So that's a cool technology.
Is that a situation where you can literally take a picture of the current room and it just puts it in?
Yes, exactly.
Like
And you can see the pattern repeat.
Augmented reality type of thing. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So a lot of our vendors offer that. So if someone asks for it, which we see more and more, we're able to plug it in and they could see it. So that's something that's been on the rise. In terms of like materials, yeah, there's like the LVT now looks like real wood. So they have this great technique where you could print onto like a synthetic core and it will look like a real hardwood. So that's something that we're seeing a lot more in people going outdoor. Yeah, so they have a technique where it's not real engineered hardwood floor, but it has that look. So it's more waterproof or it's better wear. So that's something that we're seeing also in terms of carpet. The weaving techniques are always changing. Indoor, outdoor rugs now, they look like more people are using them inside than outside because they have this plush feeling towards it where you're like, oh my God, this is indoor, outdoor. You can't believe its performance. So just everything's changing. Technology's changing. It's great.
All right, cool. And Joe, you started mentioning technology before. So what trends are you seeing with AV and different types of innovations? And you probably have the biggest design changes because the type of work you do changes probably month over month, literally.
Sometimes day to day.
Yeah.
But it's
so regarding, I know you, like you said, you have a big commercial project coming up. I'll use for an example, this project you're doing tonight, you're running tons of wire. How has the process changed for how you would do that now versus how you would do that 10 years ago? So it's not only like the products that are coming out for the end users, but it's how you can make your job more efficient also.
Right, because now it's a mix of where it used to just be speakers in the home was a luxury. Like, especially when I was a kid, like if you had speakers in that room, like you must be using that room a lot.
Yeah.
And now it's to the point where, you're hosting Thanksgiving and your living room, kitchen, dining room, and outside doesn't have speakers. Like, you got to entertain. Yeah. So it's become more of a necessity. And with some of the health and wellness stuff, like Haley mentioned before, now we're looking into more circadian lighting, which is obviously more wires that we have to consider running if the end user is looking forward to having circadian rhythm. There's touch panels that go on the wall that if they don't want to pull out their phone to be able to do something in that space, they could just go over to the nearest wall that has that panel and control that room. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of different devices that could be used in certain spaces that we just have to make sure that the end consumer is aware of. Mm-hmm. You don't know what you don't have. You don't, what's the saying?
That's exactly, no, I was going to say, like, they don't know unless you really tell them because they couldn't imagine that.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Even like in the back here, like this is just a closet light with LEDs under it, but like just the average person wouldn't be like, all right, I want my closet rail to be lit up to showcase my clothing. Mm-hmm. So it's just until you inform them that they're really like, oh wow, I didn't realize that was a possibility.
Right. It's a long list of things we have to constantly let people know that they can have if they do want it.
Yeah, how have you found designers embracing new technology? Because I feel like that's one of the biggest challenges, if you want to call it that. Because, designers, they want carpet, they want furniture, they want lighting, but tech and AV is like almost an afterthought. But for a homeowner, I mean, that's crucial.
It's very crucial, and it's no longer optional. It's not even something I could say it's slowly getting there. At this point, it's not optional. The last thing you want is, a consumer going and sitting in their brand new living room that has beautiful lighting, all this, the beautiful fabrics, the couch, the carpet, everything's done, and they don't have Wi-Fi reaching their couch. It's the last thing you want. They want to be able to use their phone, read on their Kindle, and anything that would require downloading, uploading, social media. You have to make sure it's mandatory. It's today's world.
Yeah. Let's shift over to social media because I know you wanted to speak about this, and I think it's important. Especially, I know you do marketing for Country Carpet, and you have mixed roles, but I know you do handle social media for IDS. So let's talk a little bit about how your current role, and I don't know if you do much with what you do, but how your current role and how you involve social media in that.
So social media for us has been, we usually will take pictures or videos of completed projects, and we'll show off the work that we have done. We have toyed around with some AI, with making those spaces, showing people what they can have, whether it be a theater look or a health and wellness look, where it's circadian rhythm. And I think the circadian rhythm part is really huge when we use our social media, because people hear it, they've heard the term before, but to be able to see it and what it does is huge, where it's a little bit more orange in the day to get you warm and ready for the day, but high efficiency at noon is a brighter white, and being able to show people exactly what that is huge. So we've been using that on social media a lot.
Okay. And you guys also, I know you do all the IDS stuff, but...
Yeah, so social media has been big for us. I think we try and partner with a lot of our designers to kind of showcase our product with their work, so it's mutually beneficial. So we're doing more and more of that. We like to do a lot of before and afters. We try and get in our showroom and do a lot of videos of, the product look in the showroom and what it looks like as a sample, but then this is it installed and like how gorgeous it looks. So I think social media is good. It's building a brand, and I think it's really good to gain like partnerships with other designers and make a community there, because if they have a lot of followers and their followers are into interior design, they're most likely going to be into our products that we have. So I think it's a good mix, and we try and do a lot of partnerships with them.
Yeah, I feel like that's the most important thing, is just building that almost social media network where if you're posting one of your designers' works and then they're sharing it, and then there are several thousand people see it, and it just puts so many eyes on your product that you wouldn't otherwise get. And I feel personally that a lot of people, especially out here in Long Island, are not using it effectively, or using it at all for that matter. I mean, I have clients that literally post twice a year. And that's to me, it's absolutely insane, because you're in a visual industry. Like, people need to see your work. Otherwise, how are you getting work? And on top of that, my own personal gripe is that they're posting iPhone photos, and unfortunately, that makes your fantastic work look even worse. But I mean, what about you, Haley? You guys, I know you're doing work with Elements. I know you wanted to record some behind the scenes here, so.
Yeah, no, I would say I agree with a lot of what you said. We do the same, where we like to partner and highlight our designers and really showcase their work. We also like to just show different products, like new products that just dropped. And, when we go to market, we like to show like an inside look. And, with IDS, it's really nice to just like showcase the different events and the different chapter meetings and what's going on in the community. And it's also a big networking tool. So being able to reach different designers and clients has been a really good.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get on, was it also helps like bridge that gap across generations when you're sort of virtually breaking that ice between designers. And I know we all go to a lot of these IDS networking events, but you already have that ice broken and that level of communication done, when even if it's a simple like tag in Instagram or something like that, like you're already breaking that ice and you're already starting that conversation. What platforms are you most into? I'm assuming Instagram is kind of like the thing for designers, but
definitely Instagram, Pinterest too. They love. I'd say those are the main two for us, and Facebook, but not really.
Facebook we find is still important for us, because for the older ages, they're still on Facebook, so we like to be on all platforms. TikTok also.
Oh, you're on TikTok too. Wow, you're everywhere. You also, or you're
Instagram, Facebook. Just it's easier for us with Facebook to establish that connection with other people, and then Instagram to show off.
Although I feel like it's like a dying brand, Facebook, slowly.
It is,
but I do think a lot of the older generation people, 45, 50 and up, are still, that's where they're going. Even though I think they do, especially designers, do need to make that transition to Instagram, especially because we're all in visual mediums. I guess you less than everyone else, because a lot of your stuff is behind the scenes and stuff like that. But, regarding the three of us, we're all in visual mediums, and designers need to show off their product. It's as simple as that.
I would also just add that it's also become a way for at least designers to showcase their portfolio, and so they're using Instagram almost as a canvas now. Same for us, really. It's just the new website in a way.
Yeah, it's funny. That's how I look. I have a website, right? And on my website is my portfolio, which is probably my 30 to 40 best images I've ever taken. But you're going to see my best images ever on my website. On Instagram, you can see what I'm doing on a weekly basis because that's where I'm posting almost every project unless I don't want anyone to see it.
Right.
So I think, yeah, it's a good way, especially for designers too. A lot of my designer clients, they have their portfolio on their website, which is their best of the best of the best. Like this is, you know, if someone comes to my website, this is what I want you to see. But Instagram gives you a way to show that you're busy, that you're constantly working, that you're putting stuff out there all the time, especially with stories, like behind the scenes, doing stuff like that.
With
I mean,
little pictures. The
exactly.
stories are huge for that.
Yeah, I think story interactions are probably higher than posts at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the stats. I would just assume based on the way I scroll and the way other people scroll, my stories get more interaction than my actual posts.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and designers or everyone, we're all out on site all the time throughout the day. Like put stuff out there, show people what you're doing. And I know it's tough for people to.
I know I have that problem. Like when I'm out on the site, the last thing I'm thinking is let me take my phone out and go ahead and use social media. It's like I'm especially on site when you're there to work. It's something you have to try to remember.
You have to think because you're always marketing your own business, and you have to think how am I going to put stuff out there to show people I'm busy, to show people I'm working, and to show off my project at the same time to potentially get new clients. I know you mentioned it as a networking tool, though, Haley. And I want to use this to segue into some of the networking events that we go to and the importance of that. But how are you using like social media platforms as a networking tool?
I would say like even the conversation when networking is like if you want someone's contact for most of the time now, it's like, oh, what's your Instagram? Or, you know, like, and it almost looks like a way to validate that you're a legitimate business. Networking, it's become a really big opportunity for outreach and just knowing what's going on in the community. So different events and, you know, just making different connections.
Well, what has your experience been like as a younger professional, like going to these networking events? And I know at least the two of you have went up the ranks really quickly in the IDS. I mean, you're in charge of all the financials at this point.
Yes, I am.
So what's it like as a younger professional going to these networking events?
I feel like it's getting young. Like we're seeing like younger and younger people going too. It's really nice because it's just connecting with people with all different experiences. So I love hearing about everyone's different stories, and there's so many different parts of the industry that, you know, I'm really curious about that I'm not that well versed in, and so just being able to ask people questions and really get that in person, you know, connection and experience is really nice and appreciated, especially after COVID.
Well, I'm happy you're all going because for a while I was the youngest one at all the networking events, and you all pulled in. But you want to give advice to designers on how they can use networking events, I guess, more intentionally, especially across different age gaps? I feel like
we're all like,
I feel like, just to elaborate, I feel like going to these events, like it's a process. It takes time. They're wherever they are, they're only convenient for 10% of the people who live within 10, 15 minutes of it. You know, none of the events are close to where I live, for instance, unless we do something here at Elements, which is 15, 20 minutes away. Otherwise, I'm traveling an hour. Right. So give some advice to designers or inspiration for them to want to come to not only just meet the younger generation, and you guys are the people that are going to be helping them and selling to them or their second generation designers one day. So
I can actually bridge that gap between the two topics. It's really when you come to meet new people at these networking events, use social media as your tool. In social media, you stay in touch with people. You can see what people are up to. So once you establish that connection at these networking events, social media is going to do the rest of the work.
Yeah, and it's the best way. I feel like even going out and giving a business card is a thing of the past. It's like, what's your Instagram? And I'll just reach out to you there.
Right. Every business card I know that we've made or any advertisement we've made always has a QR code, whether to our website or to some of our social media. It's the best way.
No, for sure. I mean, I meet people all the time when I'm on projects, and it's not, here's my card. They never ask for my card. How can I reach you? What's your Instagram handle? So it's almost like a new way of networking and connecting.
For sure.
I wonder if email is going to just be a thing of the past one day, where it's like, I mean, obviously I don't think email is going to go away, but just where that's how people just communicate.
Where it's like DMing through social media.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It also works like the other way around. If you're connecting with designers on Instagram and you feel like you formed a relationship by tagging each other, if you don't necessarily work with them in the showroom, if someone else does, it's like I feel like I know all these designers, and then I go to the events, I'm like, oh, I feel like I know you. But like it's nice to put a face to
the name.
name.
I would also just add, it goes both ways. So having that mutual curiosity of, what's your experience in the past, like how it was and versus where it's going. And so just having that conversation together.
Mm-hmm. What about trade shows? Do you guys do trade shows?
Yeah.
So what's that like doing trade shows as a younger generation? Because I'm sure you're still dealing with tons of people that are 2-3 generations older than you at that point.
So for trade shows, especially for the tech industry of it, since it is always changing and a lot of tech is becoming simplified, the events themselves have actually become a little bit smaller because I feel like there's less competition because the devices are becoming so similar in ways where you don't have all these different industries now doing all these different things. These bigger companies are now taking such a big grasp on everything. So as far as trade shows where, talking to my dad about them in the past where it was this huge big thing and you'd be busy for 3 or 4 days. I know when I went to my last one in Colorado, it was CEDIA, and I was there for I think 2.5 days, and I was like, we have seen the same thing over and over again. So it's become, I think that's where a thing of the past a little bit.
Yeah, I wonder if trade shows in general are going to be just completely obsolete in like 10 years because, 20, 30, 40, even 50 years ago, that was the way to see new products and stuff like that. But you do a Google search or even an AI search now, which is overcoming Google slowly, and we can talk about that too. You can find any product you want in literally minutes, if not less.
I would say also, so for us, we go to 4 trade shows a year. We go to Dallas twice a year for lighting, and then High Point for furniture and home accessories. And it's interesting. Like, I have a different experience. I've gone, for 3 years now, and we're definitely seeing more designers going. But, now you have the option of virtually going through showrooms and, having all that to see the product. But for us, there's nothing like seeing it in person. And, our schedule is stacked from 8 a.m. meetings, like right off the plane, to like 6, 7 o'clock at night, like barely sitting down and eating. And, there's so much to see, but we're definitely seeing also a lot more experiences, so a lot more panel discussions and just different community events and things like that, which I enjoy going to. And so it's more than just going to see product, it's also about connecting and seeing what everyone else is doing.
So for me, I love the trade shows because I think it's an opportunity. Yeah, they're two generations. They're older than I am, but they know a lot more of the technical stuff that I don't know. So I take that as an opportunity to learn a lot. And I like to see the product in person and feel like all the carpet and how the construction and how everything looks in person. So I enjoy going, and I think it's beneficial.
I would say also we love to have events here, designer events, and the one that's always most attended to is our market recaps, where we do presentations about all the products we saw, what we want to bring into the showroom, different trends that we really saw throughout all the manufacturers, and the designers love it.
Well, they want to know what's trending.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that in a second. But I mentioned AI, and I'm actually curious about that because you both mentioned you're using AI to sell products. How are you guys? Because I think it's important that designers study. And we had an episode with Jenna, who was on an episode last year also as a follow-up for how interior designers can use AI in their businesses. But how are you guys utilizing AI, whether it's to run your businesses or to do marketing or all that? Because you need to now, especially with search. Like, people are searching more on AI nowadays than on Google. I mean, this is crazy, but I booked my first job last week where the designer found me strictly through ChatGPT.
Wow.
And what she did, it was
That's
crazy.
crazy.
It's crazy. What she did was, and it's mind-blowing when you think about this, she took iPhone, it was a restaurant in Soho in New York City. She took pictures on her phone of the restaurant, the project. She uploaded them to ChatGPT and said, who's the best photographer in New York that can match this type of aesthetic?
Wow.
Good.
And,
amazing.
and I showed up. I don't know
Wow.
how, but
That's
regardless
really
of
cool.
that.
Because you're the best in New York.
Good for you.
No, but regardless of that, I think it's going to change things significantly because clients are now going to be able to upload inspiration pictures from Pinterest and be like, this is what I like. Which designer can do this? So AI is significantly going to change the way people search, whether it's via uploading inspiration pictures, uploading voice notes, uploading all these different products and saying, this is what I'm looking for. Give me the perfect person instead of going to Google and getting a list of 10 or 20 different people that may or not solve the problem. So that being said, what are you guys using AI for? How are you utilizing it, whether it's for marketing, whether it's to help your SEO on your website, anything?
It's more for, we do actually have a budget calculator on our website, which I do believe uses a little bit of AI just to see what people's answers are. We do use it for room inspiration, just to see what someone's theater might look like, what a typical living room might look like with some technology. And one of the coolest pieces of tech that I think we use is using a VR headset. You could actually put it on and build a theater. And I can go ahead and I could change the height of the seats for 1 or 2 or 3 rows, optimal viewing positions. And after it's all done, I could design it, print it, and people could step into a room as if it was their theater, which I think that's the coolest piece of AI.
Yeah, well, I think what's cool in your side of things, and I think I spoke to your dad about this when we interviewed him last year, was that I think once AI is somehow integrated into smart homes, because it's going to happen.
It already has.
Oh, it already has.
It already has.
Where, it can start learning your family trends, and it's going to start doing things for you before. Like, it knows that at 4 o'clock every afternoon, you go and turn your oven on to start cooking dinner, and, it's going to start putting your oven on for you at 4 o'clock because, it's time to cook soon, or, come 8:30 at night, it's going to dim the den lights and turn the TV on because that's what you do every night. Soon it'll be able to pour you a glass of whiskey.
Exactly.
But it's crazy what's happening.
We've been using this new piece of tech called Josh, and it's actually a privately held company where it's a little bit more expensive, but what you're paying is your own security. So they're not selling off your information like a Google would or Amazon would. And the coolest part to this piece is once it's on your network, it will see any devices that it can control within your house. So where you would go to Amazon Alexa and tell her, can you turn on the lights? It's one simple command. If you go to Josh and you say, turn on my lights, put the volume in this room to something, and change the temperature in this room to something else, it'll do all of that in one sentence that you could do. You cannot do that with Amazon Alexa.
Nice.
So it's been huge where AI is now determining all those things that it could do and then putting it into the home.
Circling back to what you were saying too about the whole AR reality and using goggles, we were at a trade show and there was this, I forget what it was called, but it was like the lighting house, and you put on the goggles and you're walking through a home with all the different manufacturers and their products and seeing it in just throughout the home. And for us, we use it to, put different lights in a space and do the whole view it in your room and give that visualization tool, and that'll literally close the sale for us because the customer will be like, I would never have thought that's how it would have looked. And it's been huge. I mean, it has so many capabilities that even we don't know about. Yeah. It's then the possibilities are endless.
It's changing quickly.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. The only kind of AI would be like the 3D room visualizer to show the product, which you just mentioned. I mean, and also as simple as make me an Instagram caption for this that will help, like the SEO, not the SEO, but it will help the search terms. So the best hashtags to use that will get the most eyes on your post. So
yeah, I mean, I found when I do that, sometimes it sounds a little AI-ish. But Jenna, who we interviewed, is going to be on, I think, the episode before you guys. She said the best thing to do is actually, I guess, transcribe your caption or whatever you want to say about the post, and then let AI write it better for you.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not writing something that sounds like a professional writer and that just doesn't sound human. Whereas either just transcribe it into your phone and then upload or copy and paste that and say, this is my story about this project that I want to post, clean it up and write it, make it sound good for me.
Right, exactly.
Something I've done is, and what you can do is basically train ChatGPT to your voice and your personality. So when you put in any prompt, it'll say it as your brand voice.
Well, that's a whole conversation for another time. And, and I agree with you. I've done it.
Jenna's really taught a lot.
It's a lot of work, and it's a matter of, if you're not familiar, just gathering dozens or hundreds of emails, blog posts, stuff that you've written, and just basically organizing it all into one big document that these AI bots can learn who you are and about you and how you talk, so it can kind of emulate you when it's doing this work for you. But
Canva is also a big platform that we use and designers use, and now they've had this whole new release that they're using AI, and it's a whole new functionality that you can put in any existing photo or a new prompt, and it'll create whatever document you want, and it'll all be within one project. So you can have a spreadsheet, a doc, a deck, like everything just in one scrolling document, which I've never seen before, and it's really cool.
Yeah, well, things are changing really quickly. Let's talk a little bit about, I guess, trends. And are any of you guys noticing younger designers are prioritizing different things than maybe older generations, or whether it comes to sustainability, whether it comes to smart integration, stuff like that?
I was going to say sustainability. I think there's a lot more of an emphasis on materials that we're really seeing, and also where they're coming from. So where they're manufactured, are they local, are they in America, are they in the Philippines? How is it made, how is it fabricated, what's the quality, and just expressing that.
Yeah. Same thing for you. What about actual design styles? I know like trends change quickly. Things are, I guess, trending towards a little bit of minimalism now, but that's all going to be out the door in 6 months. So how do you find like older generations can keep up? I mean, do you feel like you have to enlighten them with like, no, you don't want to go this way. It's not gonna be good for you, or?
Sometimes, but it's funny because I feel like everything like comes and goes. So like now we're seeing a lot of traditional coming back, and it's also just, we see a lot because it's the client's preference. Like their taste might be different than my taste, but I think that everything comes back. So
no, it does, but you don't want to go like too extreme where it's like, I was talking, Nava Slavin, we were talking about kitchens on one of the episodes, and she had a client who wanted this like really neon pink kitchen cabinets, and she like tried to talk her out of it, and then they went with it, and then like 2 years later she's like, why did I go neon pink? So I think you have to find that balance, because styles do come back, like you said, everything's going traditional now, but like, don't go out there.
Right. Steering in a certain...
Stay safe.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like a transitional.
Yeah.
With steering in the right direction, especially from the tech standpoint, we'll see a lot of people try to piecemeal their technology within the home, where a lot of the things don't really integrate, where if you really want that experience and what you're paying for, you're paying a little bit more for such a seamless integration, where it's like you shouldn't be piecemealing just for the price tag. It's a certain experience for a reason. Like, don't piecemeal. Like, go with the full route where you're going to enjoy your smart experience.
Cool. We're running low on time, so I want to wrap up. But let me ask you guys, I'm going to put you guys on the spot. What's a thing or one thing that you wished more established designers kind of understood about working with a younger professional?
We're learning.
I
don't know.
More learning is good.
Yeah.
Well, I would say don't let age put you off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
just because you're young doesn't mean you don't know any better.
Right.
I mean, some of the most phenomenal photographers I've seen are in their late teens or early 20s. Like, people are good at what they do.
Right.
Just being like open to different ideas also, not, it really depends, and you just have to be open-minded, hear what everyone has to say, like whoever it is, and I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I guess the one thing for me has been like confidence is key. So like when
Definitely.
I know when I'm speaking to anybody that may look at me a certain way for that, if I know what I'm talking about, I'm true to what I'm talking about, then typically it'll all work
Right.
out in the end anyway.
Exactly.
Well, you know your industry better than they do.
Right.
There's a reason they're coming to you.
Right.
So, and lastly, I mean, what advice would you give to a younger designer who's just coming in? I mean, as someone who relates to these people and talks to these people all day, give some youngers, because most of our listeners are interior designers. Some people that listen to podcasts typically are going to be a little younger. What advice would you give as a young professional coming into the industry?
Come to our showroom, literally, no, come spend a day, put your, be in the field for a little bit, just really gather what it's like to hear different clients and customers and what they're seeing and what they're asking for. Understand the different aspects of the industry, so really learning, from just even a rough sketch to the end of a project. And just getting exposed to all different aspects of it.
Yeah, I would say build relationships too.
Yeah, talk to as many people as
Talk
possible.
to as many people, go into as many showrooms, make connections there. The more people you know, the more you're going to learn. And I think connection is key.
Yeah, even if they're not products you're using or even multiple lighting companies or multiple carpet, just speak to people. You just need to speak to people.
I would say be open-minded. I know for me it was a struggle in the beginning. You're young, you're coming up, and you have a lot of confidence, but when you stay open-minded, you're going to learn a lot more, and you're going to be experiencing a lot more, which I think is huge. I think when you experience different industries, you learn a lot about what everyone's doing, and in the end, you want to make sure your end user is going to get exactly what they're coming to you for. So just be open-minded.
Yeah, and I'm gonna add a piece of advice that I think is be open to criticism, because we're all in visual art type of industries, and we're all creatives, and the only way you get better at what you do is if you're open to letting other people critique you and telling you how good or how bad you are. For me, I used to literally send photos to better photographers and be like, bash me and tell me what I'm doing wrong, because that's how you get better. I want to know what I'm doing wrong to get better. So be open-minded to criticism. It's only going to help you in the long run. But that being said, I want to thank all three of you. If you want to take a quick 10 seconds to just tell people how to find or reach you and your company, please do. Whoever wants to start. Joey, you can start.
All right.
You're to my right.
Sights and Sounds on Facebook or Instagram, and we also have our website, which is hometheater.biz, or if you see one of our big Sprinter vans around Long Island, just know that's us with the home theater on it.
Cool.
Yeah, we're Country Carpet Flooring and Interiors. Website countrycarpet.com. Instagram Country Carpet. We're on Robbins Lane in Syosset.
Well, based off what we said, go to Instagram. Don't go to your website.
And we're Elements Lighting and Decor on Instagram, Elements at Home on our website, and we're located on 227 Glen Cove Road in Crawl Place.
All right, awesome. So thank all three of you, Haley,
Thank you,
Jessica,
Brian.
Joey,
Thank
for your
you.
time.
Thank you.
This was
Thank
fun.
you.
Hopefully we'll inspire a younger generation of designers
Absolutely.
to come into it, and reach out to all three of you.